Hey everybody, it's the Oliver brand here, and I just wanted to talk about the fight we just had yesterday, actually last night, between Timothy Bradley and Manny Pacquiao. Sorry I'm blinking so hard, I got some eye. But I just wanted to say that I wanted to bring a video out that took a more educated approach because a lot of the videos are just they're set out of frustration, and there's really not a lot of factual backing behind them. And I just wanted to give my insight and my take on how the fight took place, as well as the politics that are involved when these type of fights go down. I just want to start off with the boxing analysis of the fight. I thought that Manny Pacquiao landed quite a bit of punches. Uh, he was definitely accurate, and I thought he did a great job at picking his shots, and he fought really well last night. Still a lot of flaws that I see with his style, but I thought that overall Manny Pacquiao fought one hell of a fight. And Tim Bradley, he didn't lay down. He definitely came to fight, I believe. I thought it was an okay fight. I'm not gonna sit there and say it was the best fight I've seen from either one of those guys, but um, I thought Bradley came to fight. He did some things very well. He was able to stick and move. Had a really good jab that night. Landed some good combination shots, and um, but overall, I believe that Bradley lost that fight, and I think that when he goes home and he looks in the mirror, he's got to know that he lost this fight, and that I think that's mostly to do with politics. But I'll go into that later. Um, Neither guy looks spectacular. I don't think either guy can hold a candle to Floyd, remotely even close. But that's neither here nor there. He's locked up, and this conversation's about them. I am going to get into a little bit more about what I think is going on, and I think that it's a shame, and it makes boxing look bad, but amongst the casual fans. See, when you call yourself a boxing fan, you're used to this shit happening all the time. We don't see it at that elite level because usually guys that are elite completely demolish whoever they're facing, or they make it, you know, an interesting fight, but are ahead just enough to where we don't have to question, or we kind of know. They make it look decisive. Um, but robberies like this typically don't happen at the elite level. It's been a long time, uh, but there have been, and we can go all the way back to Tommy Hearns versus Leonard too. Hearns had that those two knockdowns against Leonard, and somehow Leonard escaped with a draw. I thought that was bullshit, and I like Sugar Ray Leonard. He's one of the greatest, but Hearns clearly won that fight. Um, but let's see what else we got. We got Shannon Briggs versus George Foreman. I thought that fight was horrible, horrible decision. Uh, Trinidad De La Hoya, and the list goes on and on. Even some of the two Marquez fights, I thought Marquez won decisively, but I could understand if someone had objections to that, and I respect that. Um, this isn't anything new. It's going to be happening. It happens in mixed martial arts, so MMA fighters, quit getting your panties in a bunch because this shit happens in MMA all the time. It's just that those fights aren't on this level. I really hate to put it in those terms, but it hasn't reached this point yet. Um, I thought it was Pacquiao's fight. I thought Pacquiao won decisively. I think everyone did. Bradley maybe 3 rounds. I can understand some people too. I think one, you know, they might be slighting him, but once you win 8+ rounds, I don't think it really matters. So I thought Pacquiao won 8 rounds. I think it was 8-4, 9-3. I mean, doesn't matter. I thought he clearly won that fight. Um, But I wanted to touch on something real quick because I feel like this is really important as a boxing fan, not a fighter fan, because fighters come and go, but as a boxing all around fan. I feel like, you know, I hate when people say shit like boxing's dead or, MMA's taking over and la di da di da di. Yes, I will say this much: MMA is an amazing sport. I participate myself. Um, Shout out to the guys at Top Team. But I feel as if um, when you make statements like that, it's kind of a slap in the face to those that have come before. You know, those guys paved the way for guys like this. They put in hard work, and you don't have to like a specific fighter. I'm not asking you to, but respect the craft. You know, the politics are horrible. They're horrible in mixed martial arts. And don't say they are. How many fighters get caught on roids every year and continue to fight? This is ridiculous. Um, but anyways, when you say stuff like that, I feel like it's disrespectful towards the guys that have come before and laid their bodies in their lines, and some of them die in there. I mean, this is a rough sport. This is the roughest sport as far as combat sports goes. And I felt like when I see these comments online that say this bullshit like boxing's dead and move over, I'm going to do this or la di da. Like you were never really truly a fan. You're like a casual fan. You're no different than a bandwagon rider to me. You know, if you're going to be casual, at least have a casual approach. Don't make statements like that because you make it seem as if you were a fan to begin with, when all actuality you're just riding Mayweather or Pacquiao's dick. You know, that's just how I feel. You know, there's some things you just can't understand, and I mean, from a casual fan's point of view, that you have to leave it up to guys like me and a long list of other people that'll probably be viewing this video to make the decision on what's dead and what hasn't been dead. Boxing has been around for hundreds of years and it's not going anywhere. So get this thought of boxing leaving out of your head. The next thing I want to bring up are the politics behind this. I didn't know if you guys knew this or not, but Bob Arum's daughter is currently dating Keith Kaiser, and to me, I sense something fishy coming from this fight. Anyways, because I think Pacquiao's coming up on the end of his contract, and he has one more fight left, and that'll be with Bradley. I'm not too sure if he's willing to sign another contract with another promotional company. If he did, I strongly suggest that he goes to Golden Boy because they know how to put their fights together and their fight cards together really, really well, and they have a track record of that, and they have a good reputation when it comes to working with other promotions outside of Top Rank, that is. And I feel like he should. They're not going to slight him, and they're going to give him exactly what he's worth, and he could be making a decent living. Not that he's not now; he makes millions, but I'm saying he could be making a little bit more than what he's making right now at Top Rank, and not have to feel like he's giving up 20+% of his contract, you know, to his guarantee to his promoters. So I really think that Top Rank would be the best, not Top Rank, excuse me, but Golden Boy would be the best move for Manny Pacquiao as far as quality of opponents as well. He'd get better competition. And right now, we all know that Golden Boy is sitting on a gold mine, literally, with fighters. The best fighters come out of Golden Boy, point blank, period. Um, but, anyways, I did not know that Bob Arum's daughter was currently dating Keith Kaiser. And I think that's bad for business in terms of making fights in Las Vegas because I think they probably behind closed doors believe that they have the iron hand and they are able to make decisions and dictate the way fights goes. And I'm not a fan of Bob Arum at all. I think he's bad for business, and that's just not me that's saying this. Actual fighters, world champion caliber fighters, have said the same thing. Not out of spite, trust me, but from a business perspective, he might be a nice guy. Trust me. We've seen Floyd Mayweather hugged up at Bob Arum at the Super Bowl at Cowboy Stadium. So clearly, it has nothing to be personal about. It's nothing personal about it. It's just business. It's the business aspect, and he's bad business. And he's an old school approach. He's able to stand in front of the cameras and put on a straight face. And I thought something was fishy anyways from the get go because of the situation, the relationship between Kaiser and Bob Arum's daughter. But another thing that really caught my attention was after the fight, Bob Arum was all smiles in that ring up until the press conference where he all of a sudden thought that you know he oh, it was a robbery and this that, and they already have posters out for Bradley Pacquiao too, already pre-made. I mean, stuff like that raises a red flag in my eyes, and I'm telling you this so just in case you don't see these things, or the casual fan wants to learn more about the sport and learn about the politics, that they can see that these are some of the things that occurred prior to and after the fight itself. Um, But yeah, Bob Arum and Top Rank are they're full of shit and they're robbing the people. Um, just off those facts I just named alone, I believe that. Uh, I mean, I congratulate Tim Bradley. He's a warrior. He came to fight, but I don't think that he won that fight. Period. Another thing that I really wanted to address was this. People can say what they want to say about Floyd Mayweather, but the thing is this: what you see is what you get. I'm more concerned, honestly, about what goes on inside the world of boxing rather what goes on in his personal life. So the issues that he had with his baby mother, I don't know the details of the case, and neither does anybody else. We weren't there. No, we heard one side of the story. He copped a plea. Said he was guilty. He told the press that he just didn't want to see his kids on the stand, and I can understand that being a parent. I only have one kid, but I wouldn't want to put my daughter in a predicament where she's having to testify against her own parents. But that's neither here nor there. What I really wanted to address is the fact that Mayweather has kind of been inadvertently guiding Pacquiao, trying to get him to really understand that he shouldn't do business with Bob Arum. Now I hear a lot of shit about, oh, Mayweather only offered Pacquiao $40 million. That's not fair. He deserved 50-50. Lottie dottie dottie. But from a business aspect of boxing, no one can deny that Floyd Mayweather has dominated the pay-per-view rankings. He is number one. He makes the most money. He draws the biggest gates. The pay-per-view revenue. He is number one. He's one of the most highly paid athletes in the world, if not the highest paid athlete in the world. And so is Manny Pacquiao, but not as much, nowhere near as much Floyd's making. Floyd's making nasty numbers. But I do believe that Floyd deserves a bigger cut. Not to mention that as of late, Floyd Mayweather has been fighting people coming off of wins and that have looked sharper. He's not fighting guys coming off of losses. I think both are championship caliber opponents, but I think as of late, the quality of opponents, I have to lean more in favor of Mayweather. Now, if you were to take this, you know, fight back to 2007 and before, not even 2007, probably 2005, 2004, and before, I would have to give quality opponents to Manny Pacquiao because he was still fighting at the featherweight weight class. But I think Mayweather does deserve the bigger cut. That's nothing against Manny. I tuned in to watch his fight. I bought it. I said I would, and I did. But I felt like he, you know, doesn't deserve that big cut. So the $40 million that was offered by Floyd, if I was Manny Pacquiao, I would have taken it. Because if I believe that I can beat Floyd, and on top of that, I'm making 4 times as much as I'm equal Bob Arum, then why not? There's nothing to lose here. No, you're not going to be number one. You know what I'm saying? If you lose, you're not going to be number one. You're going to lose your status of that. But you already have losses. You have 3 losses, so another loss is really not that big of a deal. And a prime example of is what's going on right now because we know that he beat Bradley. So another thing to consider. Um, but yeah, he wouldn't make that money anywhere else but with Floyd. So I think that he should have taken a deal while he had the chance. Now that deal's off the table. You can go ahead and can that. I don't care how you look at it. This is business, and whether people like it or not, a loss is a loss. Does that mean that he's ranked any lower to me? No. I still think Pacquiao is number 2 pound for pound, and I've always believed that. He's truly one of the greatest to ever fight in the sport of boxing, and that needs to be respected. I feel like, but that's just what I what I wanted to get across in this video. I know it's kind of long-winded, but that's just my take on the fight. Overall, the fight, as aggressive as it was, has come forward. I feel like, and the slugfest they got in, like that's cool and that's theatrical, but real talk, that's not going to be Floyd, man. Not even close. Sloppy fighters, Manny missed a lot and he was open a lot, and if Floyd had been in there that night, he would have killed him. Like, honestly, I think he would have probably got him out of there in the first 5. Like, that was horrible. Horrible technique on both parts. I mean, overall, don't get me wrong, they're both great entertainers and fighters, and they tried to bring as much hype to this fight as possible, but I think we kind of already knew what was going to happen. We wanted Bradley to win. Some of you did, some of you didn't, but essentially we kind of all knew. Um, Thanks again, you guys. I really appreciate your comments. If you're wondering why my eyes are like this, because I'm on haze, so screw you. But nonetheless, please comment on my videos. Any videos I ever do, you guys, I'm telling you now, I'm only gonna present it from a non-biased point of view. So um, Pacquiao and Mayweather are still, the top of the list right now, despite that win by Bradley.